Hello and welcome back to House of Astralis. My name is Kayla and today I will be your cosmic guide as we take a look into this full moon in Taurus coming up on November 5th. Thank you for being here and joining me, trusting me to bring you your message. And of course, as this is a collective reading, please only take what resonates and be at peace with what doesn't. Use your own discernment, of course. And I want to thank you all for the engagement again. Thank you in advance for any likes, comments, shares. Let me know how this full moon goes for you. For me, it's on my birthday, which is very fun, very cool, and it's not going to happen again on my birthday for another 19 years. So 2044 is when the next full moon, I believe, will be on my birthday. I went and took a look at AstroSeek because they have the bunch of years and the full and new moons listed. So I took a look, and yeah, there are some years that it'll be very close to my birthday, but not on the 5th again until 2044, which is fun. Something to look forward to, I suppose. In 19 years, I think I'll be surprised and maybe think back on this date or this time, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I also want to quickly mention my Etsy shop. It is live, it's active. I have some sales going on by the time that this video posts. So if you see it live, definitely go check it out. Support me there. Reviews on the shop help because it's such a new shop. So definitely having those people, having you receive a reading from me and then leave a review would be amazing. So thank you for the opportunity in advance. Alrighty, so this full moon in Taurus arrives on November 5th at 5:19 a.m. Pacific time, like a lantern in the underworld, steady, glowing, and grounded in the body. Coming just days after Samhain, this lunation anchors us in the physical after a spiritual thinning of the veil. Taurus, ruled by Venus, is the sign of embodied devotion. It reminds us that pleasure is sacred, slowness is revolutionary, and presence is a prayer. Opposing the Scorpio sun, this full moon highlights the tension between holding on and letting go. Scorpio wants transformation at any cost. Taurus wants to keep what's beautiful, what's known, and what's safe. Together, they ask, what are you clinging to out of fear, and what are you finally ready to root into with love? This lunation forms a gentle sextile to Neptune, now retrograde in Pisces, bringing an ethereal softness to an otherwise earthly moon. Intuition flows through the senses. Dreams may feel tactile. Grief might settle in the bones. The post-Samhain descent is real. We are in the season of release, yet this full moon invites us to pause and find beauty in what remains. Think, candlelight in the dark, a favorite song played on repeat, a moment of stillness that reminds you you're still here. Taurus teaches us that not all growth is dramatic. Some of it looks like tending to the same altar, brewing the same tea, showing up to your own life with patience and care. This full moon is less about doing and more about being. Let yourself feel full. Let yourself want what you want. Let desire be data and let your body lead. In the tarot, Taurus is connected to the Hierophant, a card of tradition, ritual, and sacred learning. Under this full moon, the Hierophant becomes a bridge between the earthly and the divine. What ancient knowledge is rising in you now? What rhythms feel holy? There is magic in repetition, in touch, in trust. The Hierophant reminds us that we don't have to earn our worth. It lives in our bones. This is a really beautiful time to engage the senses. Cook something that reminds you of your ancestors, anoint your body with oil, write a love letter to your future self, or simply lie and listen to the hum of your own existence. The descent doesn't have to be harsh. Let it be sacred. Let it be slow. Because here in the underworld, beauty still blooms. So if you're curious about what effect the Taurus full moon will have on you and in your life, I suggest looking at your birth chart and looking at the house Taurus is in for you. It doesn't have to have any planets, but that house theme will be highlighted in addition to what's going on with what I just read. So full moons are for releasing, they're for letting things go. But with Taurus, again, it's not to be dramatic. So it doesn't have to be this dramatic ending and cutaway. Of course, if that is what is in alignment for you at this time, do it. But it doesn't have to be that. For me, Taurus is in my 10th house, so that's career, public image, reputation, etc. So I can definitely let some things go regarding that, but also it's not like revamping my whole career or my business model at this time, if that makes sense. It's gentle, letting things go, but not starting completely over. If you have any questions or you need help with that, let me know down below and I can definitely try my best. And to get us started with the tarot, I first pulled some cards for you, this collective, to work on your intuition during this time. 2 came out, I was just doing 1, but we have number 17, avoid numbing out. You may be overwhelmed or overstimulated lately or stressed out and emotional, causing you to feel drained and anxious. Instead of numbing out and checking out with shopping, binge watching, or alcohol, employ more engaging, healthy ways of helping your sensitive nervous system catch a break. Don't numb out to your 6th sense. So, just as it says, don't use unhealthy coping mechanisms to reset your nervous system, and ultimately it doesn't even get reset if you're not doing it in a healthy way. Secondly, we have number 26, harmonize head and heart. Your energetic heart contains your soul's memory and wisdom, so your heart should be part of your decision-making process. Your heart knows where your soul's going, yet the rational head maps out the heart's desire. When the pragmatic head and intuitive heart compromise, you lead a more soulful life. I like that. It's definitely a Queen of Cups energy there of not sacrificing your heart's desire for logic and not being overly logical and ignoring the emotions and your heart's desire. There's certainly a good balance between both, and if you are familiar with DBT practices, a practice in therapy, there's a model called the wise mind, and it's literally a Venn diagram of the emotional mind and then wise mind in the middle and then the logical rational mind, and how it benefits to have both instead of one or the other, and leaning too heavily on one. It's good to harmonize them. And for the oracle, I asked, in addition to or with the things going on in your life with Taurus there, what else can you look for, or what may pop up? And we have 31 descent, which is amazing, which is literally it, right after Samhain, right after Halloween. And Scorpio is the descending into the depths, into the underworld. And the ritual workbook thing literally talks about the underworld a couple times too. So yeah, it looks like there's some inner work that may be coming up for you. Alrighty, so first question, what are you being asked to release? We have the Queen of Swords. So I got drawn to the old wise man head here. So I see this as kind of the opposite of the Hierophant, as in cutting off traditions, because traditions don't always help, and sometimes they hinder us more than help us. You can use them to have like a stepping stone, but if you following them just isn't working for you, then it's time to let it go and appreciate the wisdom that you can gain from it, but ultimately it's time to move on. You're being asked to release what isn't serving you, obviously, but again, the traditions, the mental stuff of other people, and maybe this is also the rational mind. If we take the queen as the yin, as the intuition, and then the man figurehead as the logical and reasonable mind, it's cutting that off so that you can tap into your intuition a lot more. Next, we have what can you root into? And with the Page of Swords here, it's not safe for YouTube, so I did have to cover it, and I can't bring it up to the camera. But either way, it's rooting into yielding this sword your power with grace and maybe even some curiosity there, but not being afraid to think outside the box even and be curious about thoughts. Like I mentioned therapy earlier, DBT, and this card, the Page of Swords, is a card that I think about therapy for sometimes, and so I think that definitely goes into play. So if you can root into your mental processes, the deep-rooted thoughts that you have, and going to therapy, seeing a professional can maybe help you. So yeah, I think just rooting into that curiosity about your own mind even, and the words you say. Words are powerful, so you're definitely being invited to look deeper into that. What are you clinging to out of fear? We have the King of Swords. So, wow, we have all three swords at the top. And it's very interesting that the King and Queen are on opposite ends with the page in the middle. But what are you clinging to out of fear? I immediately saw this as the opposite of the Queen. So if you need to release the old traditions or the rational mind because you're clinging to the rational mind and forgetting the intuition, emotional mind because you're fearful of it. You know, sometimes we lean too heavily on the rationalness and logic of things to try to explain sometimes the unexplainable and make us feel better if we know exactly if we know the answers. But sometimes we have to leave room and grace for the unknown, and I think this is what this figure is not doing. He needs to know, and he's not gonna risk the unknown, the intuition and the mysteries of things here. So if you're clinging on to that out of fear, I think this is definitely for you. It's literally telling you not to do that anymore. You have to harmonize your head and your heart. Both of these figures, though, they are kind of two extremes. So I think if you're in the middle, balancing it out, I think that'll help you. And maybe that's what it's to show here, literally harmonizing your head, the yang, and then your heart, the yin here, and creating this curious figure here in the middle, which is you. How can you nurture long-term growth? We have the Queen of Wands, and I love that the black cat is here because it reminds me of Scorpio, so I can kind of see this playing into the Scorpio Taurus aspects of this full moon. But the Queen of Wands is very powerful. They call her the Witch of the Tarot. She's magic as hell. She definitely can cast some good spells and she knows how to make it work. So I think, and she's also confident. So I think that's the thing here too, is like you have to be in your power and you have to be confident in yourself to do so. And you know, there's little tricks here and there like glamour spells or maybe literally therapy and gaining the confidence that you need to hold your throne. I was looking at her and the flower here and she made it grow. She did that. And she's saying that you can too. You have to put your passion into it and, you know, the drive to actually want a better life for yourself and a better way of living and some confidence. Step into your power, essentially. That's how you can nurture long-term growth. What lesson is the earth teaching you under this full moon? I have two cards here for that. So what lesson is the earth teaching you under this full moon? We've got the Hermit and Freedom, which honestly, they're kind of two of the same cards. The Hermit, why else do you go within and search for wisdom? It's to ultimately be free. And that doesn't have to mean you know all the answers, but it's you found yourself. He's descending into himself and finding freedom from the mental, right? From the logic stuff. So the earth is teaching you to search for that guiding star, to follow the stars, and to ask yourself what freedom means to you. How can you go within to find the freedom that you need? And maybe freedom will end up looking differently for you, and maybe you can redefine it, and it's obviously different for everybody. But that's the point of going within, descending, so that you can come up with your own idea and really embody what you're searching for. Wow, yeah, descend. You gotta descend, find your wisdom, find your freedom, let go of old narratives, balance yourself, and have confidence. Pretty simple, right? It seems so simple, so easy, but you got this. Lastly, we do have the fortune oracle, and yeah, I asked for your fortune. What can you look forward to? We've got a powerful spell will bring you what you desire. Literally the Queen of Wands. She knows how to do spells. And honestly, obviously, I kind of a word of caution. Protect yourself. Know what you're doing first and foremost. But also, with all the swords here, words are spells. So if you kind of do the practices that the Queen of Wands would do, which is certainly self-love and most definitely affirmations of some sort, those are words, and you can put that into practice, and those are your spells. They will bring you what you desire. So yeah, careful what you say, honestly. Like, use your words carefully, and not don't have any like negative self-talk or negative outlooks on things, because it's the principles of manifestation. You're calling it in for yourself. If you are constantly thinking a certain way or saying certain things, not believing in yourself, you can't get to the Queen of Wands if you don't think you can. So I hope you have a fantastic full moon cycle. I hope the descent isn't as scary as you fear that it may be. I hope you can tap into your intuition, the emotional, intuitive side, the yin side, and not let the overly logical part of you, of society, get in the way of seeking what you desire, your freedom, your confidence. Thank you so much for being here, and I can't wait to read for you again next time.